Roads are really showing it. Then it dropped 20 below.
Yeah, yeah. Last night was 20, 22 below.
24. That's what they're, that's just going.
Hopefully you've seen ours to that.
Be nice.
It's supposed to be the last of it. Let's see.
Pool corner cleared up. Still lays on that Adams pool corner.
Oh, I'm glad I decided to slow down before I got there today, because I went to my daughter's.
Oh, did you?
If I was going any faster, I would have slid into another car.
You should figure the corner don't get the sun.
Oh, you're right. This is bad time anyway. If you're gonna get this, you're gonna get black ice.
Yeah.
Tom's just talking about it. Your corner. Are you on the road? No. I did the same thing this morning.
Did you?
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
that's right.
A little sideways.
Where?
I was around on 35. Down for the country stuff.
Oh, okay.
It's all shaded. Just nice
Yeah.
right out.
Well, that rain and then the snow the other night did help. I'll call the meeting to order.
Where's Democracy Live?
That's the, programming company for doing the program for the town election to go into the tablet for assisted voting. I've got the bank reconciliation for January. I'm showing that you guys signed a transaction report for December, but I didn't ever print the reconciliations for December. I don't know why. One of the bank statements was in the folder and I was like, oh, that's odd. And then I looked and I said, oh, well, you guys signed a transaction report, but there was no reconciliation files. So I couldn't see that I had given them to you guys before in meeting minutes, so they're here along with a new report because we kept cutting checks to get all of the 2024 stuff in. So there's a new report for that and then January as well.
So it seemed like we had, maybe it was year end rather than just a monthly report.
You guys did look at the whole year report too, the January to December. Did you see all the checks, Tom? Did you see the other, I know you signed some, but I don't know if you saw them all.
I don't believe so.
Okay. These are the ones you didn't sign.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
what we were writing to the school went down to like 999,000 instead of 105.
It's 105 because it includes the amount that the state pays. We pay the state's portion and then the state gives it back to us some mysterious way.
I think what it is we have to pay the local and we have to pay into the state
Right.
education.
Yes.
I don't think we get it back. Because it covers like state piece of education, like higher education and things like that.
So why is the state not paying that? If it's the state portion.
I'm not sure what it is, but I don't think we get it back. I think there's a local portion and the state portion that we have to pay into. And so this includes the state, not just the local.
It's to me, but
Did you hear the, received an invoice for the Menards credit card charge?
no, because I gave them the wrong card, so they charged it and then there's credit, on the same statement.
Okay.
I accidentally had that card in my pocket when I was in Illinois, and I put that card in the machine, and then I replaced it with the right card. So it was charged and credited on the same
Oh, I
statement.
see, there's a credit.
Yep.
Okay, I didn't see the credit, I just saw the charge. Okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
And the adjustment on the sweep is just the year end, where I know I saw on one of the others, a savings that posted on one, but none of the other.
Yes.
You said the credit card is the one that you forgot to send to us? Is this the one?
No, it was all of the December ones that you looked at.
Okay.
You've got December and January here on the table.
We'll enter the budget into the system after town meeting, right?
Yes.
a notice that a $20 refund from court records.
I don't know because they canceled it, said they canceled it, and then they charged me again. No, we already canceled it. I'm like, yeah, then you charged me again.
So are we getting credit if it shows up on the statement?
Yes. Yes, it's on the statement.
Okay.
So then we'll get another one on the next statement, a credit for the charge they had on this one. And that should be it. I was like, can you confirm that it's closed this time? Of course, she just confirmed it with an email, like she did last month, but
Is that the court records up in BOS County or Grafton or?
it was. Did you see the conservation one, Tom?
Yeah, I'm not signing that one.
Okay. And what about the transaction report for January?
She's looking at it now.
I have it in my hand.
Oh, I gave it back to the legal there before I hadn't signed it.
Yeah, I'm not doing it. I wanna get a copy so I can look at these also.
Okay, can you initial them and I'll send you a copy?
That'd be great. No, I'll do it after the fact.
Tom, this is a reconciliation.
I just have one set of working session meeting minutes from February 13th. I will get the other one sent out to you guys.
minute from the working session.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
That's all I have. I have two things for non-public legal, but that's all I have for you guys to sign.
First thing is the HB 1264 local election.
Yep, I have to get the program installed into the tablet and make sure that it works before I send them the check.
Conservation, nothing? No. Nothing on the plan board until Wednesday.
They came and did the engineered assessment on the highway garage and the fire station. We haven't gotten the report yet, but it was done.
Thinking of the planning board, they should be doing that subdivision request that goes along with the, sale of the half acre. So you might want to see if they have that, and if they're at the point where they can schedule a public hearing.
I can bring it, print it out and bring it with me. The correspondence between you and Kyle, whatever his name is.
Carol?
Carol.
Yeah. I'm just thinking,
That way,
if we could combine the public hearing, then I think we'd have to have two, they only need one, but might as well combine them, it seems like.
hazard mitigation program.
We started the meetings last week. We'll basically meet once a month for a while.
Any updates with Smith Road?
They are preparing to put it out to bid. He called today and asked what newspapers needed to be advertised in, so should be put out to bid this week, I'm hoping.
Will they advertise it more widely than just our local papers?
Well,
The
there's,
project.
based on the procurement requirements, they're required to do it in two. So I told them that we usually do Littleton Courier, Coas County Democrats, and Caledonian.
Okay. Just because he talked about some bigger contractors that might be interested in it.
He's already got them, they're already on his radar,
Okay.
because they've been reaching out to him.
That's part of the FEMA repair funding.
It will be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it will be.
DES letter.
So do you want me to summarize what's going on? So the board acted in non-public and it should have been in public session. The Conservation Commission submitted an appeal to DES, the Wetlands Division, about a shoreline permit. The permit application was for part of the road that goes up to the Granite State landfill, and they did not copy us on that. and the Conservation Commission felt that the town should have been copied on that, and not left out, because it's part of the bigger Granite State landfill project. Tom and Eric want to submit a letter that asks to withdraw the appeal.
No, basically keeping us from getting sued.
How is
Saying
it,
the
how are
board,
we-
board didn't know anything about it.
This
There's
was
nothing
done,
about being sued, it's just, there's an appeal out there that basically says that we should have been copied, we as a town should have been copied on the application for shoreland, permit application, and we weren't copied. That's all the appeal does, it's nothing, we're not at risk of being sued.
this was brought up months ago. He's been acting on his own. He's supposed to come before the board with that, and he never does, never did. And there's an RSA stating that, and I haven't got the RSA with me, I read it here that day, you remember that, I hope anyways, but anyways, he's been acting on his own. That letter is just going out to state the fact that the board has I'm trying to get it right here, not agreed what he was doing. I have to get the letter.
So can I just mention that, first of all, it went from the Conservation Commission, not from an individual. And you were at the minutes, in the meeting minutes, when they approved filing the appeal, you were there. So you could have brought it to the select board so that we could have acted on it at that time.
The letter says, please accept this letter to ensure notice that Dalton Select Board has not authorized any actions taken by the Dalton Conservation, Mr. Swan, or his legal counsel. And he's not supposed to be doing legal counsel on his own, as far as I know, to appeal the wetland shore impact permit application for Granite State landfill on behalf of the town of New Hampshire.
I'd like to propose a little bit of a change, sending a letter to the Wetlands Council. And what I would like to say is that, please be advised that although the Dalton Select Board, through Town Council, has notified the Dalton Conservation Commission that they lacked independent authority to file appeals on behalf of the town of Dalton, the Dalton Select Board hereby acknowledges that the town of Dalton supports said appeals filed on behalf of the town. In summary, the Dalton Select Board agrees that the town of Dalton should have been and should be copied on the referenced shoreland impact permit application and on any and all permit filings related to the proposed Granite State landfill project in Dalton. And what this does is say that, the Select Board, if our mission as a Select Board is to protect the interest of the town, then we want to be copied on permit applications that are filed that affect the town.
And if that was brought forth and asked to begin with, you could write that little letter, but this here is going, this was motioned twice to go, 2-1, and you stopped it both times, which
Well, it
you had.
needed to be done in public,
Okay,
not in
it's being done in
non-private.
public now, but it's been motioned, been moved, and
And I'm suggesting that we look out for the town's interest by saying that we think that the town should be copied on permit applications. That's all we're saying. That's all the appeal does, is say that the town should have been copied on the permit application. And if we're looking out for the town, why wouldn't we want that to happen?
we don't own any part of that road to start with, and that's probably why.
But it's associated with the Granite State landfill project. And it's just like there was material submitted this week regarding the Granite State landfill on the landfill solid waste permit application. And Bethlehem was copied on that. Because the road that goes into it is in Bethlehem. It's part of the same project. So I make a motion that we send the letter that I just read that explains that we felt like that the select board determined that the Conservation Commission shouldn't have appealed on its own, but that we support the appeal and that we support that we should be copied on permit applications, we as a town. It's not saying we're for or against them, it's just meaning that we get the information as a town. That's all it does. It doesn't say for or against, it just, then we have the information.
I'm dealing with this.
I'm into it.
I really think the board needs to look out for the interests of the town, and I will say, I said that, and I will say it again. I think you send that letter, it's going against the interests of the town.
I'll make a motion to send this letter.
It's already been done anyways.
Yeah.
It wasn't done appropriately because it was
All right.
not
All
done
those in
publicly.
favor, aye?
All right. You still have the original letter, Jeanette?
Yes, I do. It's already teed up. I'll send it.
Election for town meeting?
Jay asked to be able to speak regarding the town meeting to make sure that everything is prepared to be presented in an organized fashion.
I put you in for the morning.
Yeah.
And I think on that other motion, I don't know if I voted, I vote nay. On that.
So just to make sure that town meeting goes in an orderly fashion, it's customary for the select board to have one of its members present each of the articles, move the motion, discuss it if necessary, and typically another one of the select board members seconds that motion. And so I'm just hoping that either you've already worked that out right now, or perhaps we can work it out right now so that there's no question when we start the meeting how these are going to proceed.
Do you want any part of it or no?
Well, yes, I'm waiting for you as chair to suggest what we're going to do. I mean, if I were chair, I would have, I'd make suggestions in terms of what we're going to do.
Okay, what you suggest? What can you suggest?
What we've done before is just basically gone through and one of us would write down who was going to make the motion and who was going to second it. And go through the list and do it that way. I mean, it can be just, go around the table if you want. That's. So Article 2, the number 1 is the election of officers. Do you want me to make the motion and then?
Then I'll second it.
Second it? Okay.
What page is that on?
Starts on page 4. Then Article 3. You want to make the motion and Tom seconds it? Do you want me to go get you a book so you can?
Also, I understand from viewing one of the previous, working sessions, there might be interest on the select board to amend Article 2 before it goes to a vote. If that is the case, I think it would be perfectly appropriate to make that amendment immediately following the introduction of the article.
I think you mentioned that you wanted to change it before we signed the warrant, it was too late at that point.
Yeah,
So do we want to amend it to move money from legal into financial admin? Like it was discussed at the budget hearing? At the budget hearing, there was discussion about moving money from legal into financial admin. So it wouldn't change the bottom line. So like, we talked about $6,500. So do you want me to make a motion to amend accordingly?
is that number 2?
It's number 2. We'd have to second the motion first, and then I could amend it to move $6,500 from legal into financial admin. So if I make that motion, will you second it, Eric?
Yeah.
Okay. On the next article, do you want to make the motion and then talk and second it? We're just going around the table.
You okay with that, Tom?
Yeah, what's,
Number 3.
number what?
3.
Then number 4 would be Tom, and then I will second it. Number 5 would be back to, I'd make a motion and Eric would second it. Six would be Eric and Tom.
Can you speak up a little bit, I can't.
Number 6, Eric would make the motion and you would second it for Article 6, the paving CRF. And then 7, Tom would make the motion and I'll second it. Article 8, I'll make the motion and Eric will second it.
That's number 7. Tom, Tom and then Bill.
Number 7 would be Tom and then me, yeah. So number 8 would be me and then Eric, second it. 9 would be Eric, and then Tom would second it. 10 would be Tom would make the motion and I would second it. Article 11 would be, 10 would be Tom and I'll second it. 11 would be me and then Eric would second it. Is anyone from Community Power going to come to the town meeting to explain that?
I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, we have the plan,
Or we have the public hearing?
and we have 2 public hearings, so I don't think so.
Number 12 is a petition warrant article. We can,
That one will just go to the floor. So there's no
Okay.
need for the select board to deal with that. And the same with 13,
and then other business, usually there's,
it just goes to the floor. Thank you.
And then, Tom, I think you weren't here last time when we talked about staffing, because we have to have a select board member here. We have to have
Yeah.
a select board member here, so you're gonna be
just
here
talked
first thing in
about-
the morning, right?
yeah.
Okay, and I'll come in mid-morning through late afternoon, and you'll come in mid-afternoon.
We're around 4.
Okay,
She said you had to leave for your dogs anyway, so
Mhm,
you had, you had to leave for your dogs.
and then be back,
Yeah.
and then we'll have to stay to count afterwards.
Right.
Anything else?
That's all I needed. Thank you.
Jeanette, is there anything else you need? Do you need help from us, or you're all set for workers?
Yeah, I think we're good for the election.
Anybody public comments?
I wanted to ask what the status was of the investigation.
I don't. She hasn't got back to me yet.
Did you reach out about contacting?
I reached out to her office. She was in with a client.
Try it again? That was a few weeks ago, wasn't it?
I just tried on Friday.
Get over to the secretary and just leave a message, say, tell her that you need to.
I talked to her secretary.
So did you call a few weeks ago too? Okay. She was very responsive when I talked with her.
She was in with a client, that's all I know.
Sorry. Does anyone have,
I guess not.
public comment?
So just following up, I'm really concerned about this 147 M17 RSA. The concern comes from the fact that on the 15th of January, I sent a request to this board after analyzing the agreement between the town and Casella, where I stated I thought it was a really good deal for the town and we should move forward with it with some language changes. But ultimately, one of the things that really stood out at me was this gap against 147 and 17. And that we could put the town at risk by having the select board sign it without it going to town vote. I raised it again on the 27th.
Chapter 149, right?
147.
I believe it's 147 M17.
Okay.
It was raised again at the working session on January 27th. I sent a follow-up email on January 31st with no response. February 3rd, the meeting minutes show that Chris Ennis asked about this as well. The latest update on the web are the 210 working session minutes. There's no mention of it in there being discussed. And then, obviously, you guys just approved the most recent meeting minutes, so I haven't had a chance to review those. My understanding is, as of 227, the board was presented with a letter from an attorney for legal action regarding this. And so my concern is, I have no stake in this. And quite candidly, I'm disappointed. Because I took my own time to try and help the board avoid something like this, putting the town in a situation. So, can someone tell me what we're gonna
All we
do
did
about
was
this
move it
legal
from
action?
Carberry back to Casella. They didn't go to town meeting when they moved to Carberry.
I understand that, Eric. I'm just saying, I knew legally at that point that we were heading down a bad path. And all I was trying, for me, it's disappointing, like I said, because I don't care. We go to Casella, we stay, I truly don't care. I want to keep the town out of trouble. And we had multiple opportunities to avoid that trouble. You know, anything in this town related to trash is contentious. And I knew somebody would dog it down. And all we had to do was the right thing. So what action are we taking now? So that we don't end up in a financial mess in a lawsuit. lawsuit because we agreed to this thing. I don't know if there's an opportunity to make it a warrant article still, or if that window is closed where the town could vote on it at the March meeting. I don't know. I don't know the specifics of that. I don't know if we're too far down the road and now it does become legal. I just don't know.
So which
But it's
one,
concerning.
which one would be sued for, the first contract that they broke, or the second
I'm
contract?
not the one bringing this.
No, I just wanna know.
My understanding is it's this latest one.
Okay, but it was first signed in the town of Dalton, when we went to a transfer station to Costello.
I don't disagree with you.
Okay, but this is what I'm saying. The three of them voted on private session that night to go away from Costello's. So now they're worried about legal? They should be going back and saying, all right, the first thing that was agreed to was illegal, because it never comes to town vote.
I don't know if that's right or wrong. I don't disagree with you per se.
All you gotta do is get the right to know. And
All I'm
look in
saying
your
is,
town report, where was it voted on?
you're attacking the wrong guy.
No, well, I'm just telling you.
I'm telling you that there is now,
You wanna wait?
there is now something that's been put in front of the board for this last one. And we had an opportunity to not have it come to this. That's all I'm getting at. So what do we do now to fix it so the town doesn't end up with some kind of financial jam?
I agree, we have to deal with what's happening now. With that letter that we got, that needs to be discussed in non-public. Jay, as moderator, my understanding is, like, we have to post the warrant, we had to post the warrant last Monday, right?
Yes.
And that's so that everything's properly noticed, so I don't think we can put another warrant article.
The
forward at
opportunity
this
is
point
passed to
because
include
it
anything
wasn't
new
properly
in
noticed.
this. And also, I think there's been some discussion about, oh, can we deal with it as other business? But really, unfortunately, the only thing we can deal with as other business is like thanking a dog catcher. I mean, non-binding votes, that sort of thing. So the only opportunity would be for another town meeting to address this with properly noticed warrant articles.
What did the attorney, never mind.
I guess
Say
I
what
understand you
the
guys have to address that in non-public, so thank you for that clarity. I hope you understand my frustration, and I would ask that the board, when things are presented as, hey, watch out, you know, that there's a swifter action taken on it, is all I'm asking.
Robin?
Yeah, I have a question. If you just received a letter from a lawyer referencing this, how does he know about it? Nobody else does.
Good question.
Good question. I want an answer.
I don't know, ask him.
Well, I'm asking you because it comes to you guys, right?
Yeah?
Not to him, so how did you find out about this letter?
So I will share with you, I heard it from the person who submitted it.
There's your answer. I didn't send it to
I did
him.
not hear it from anybody up here.
Nice of the accusation, though. I mean,
No, I didn't, I just.
well, I don't know. You looked at me and then you said, I want an answer. You're the one who got it, so.
Anybody else? We'll go into non-public for 91A3. Legal.
We have two of them, legal / litigation. Do you have another one? We have two.
I have two. I don't know if you guys have more than that.
Are you coming back out and reopening or shutting it down?
Shut
Okay,
it
then
down.
I have some right to know, yeah.
Actually, before we adjourn, we haven't authorized payment for legal yet. we as a board. I'm still concerned. I think we've gone through the invoices from previous meeting, and I expressed my concern. I looked at them again. There were a few where they talked with Casella's counsel. I don't remember us authorizing him to talk with Casella's counsel. We were dealing with the agreement, but we never authorized him to go directly. Tom, you were gonna send me the stuff that you had sent to him that's on here, and I never got anything from you. There were quite a few things from you, and I never got what you sent and what you were talking about. The big thing is, for him to spend $299 reviewing that email that went to the board, not to him, which he was just copied on. I really don't want to pay that. I still think that as I looked through and I went through these, it seems like there are some duplicates again. And I just think it's really sloppy, and I'm concerned with the timeliness, and we do need to pay him. We need to decide what we're going to pay him, or the firm. I'm going to once again make a motion that we change attorneys. So the last one that we paid was through October, right, Jeanette? We haven't paid November, December, or January.
Correct.
I mean, again, I find that it's hard to reconcile this because there's stuff, that Tom has sent that I have no idea what he sent. I can't say whether that's reasonable or not.
It was back when Mr. Swan was undermining the board and things like that. You knew that about what I was doing. We talked about that in non-public. And if we need to, he needs to be paid. And if you really want to go through them all, then we'll have a Zoom meeting and we'll go through it one by one with him and find out exactly what's going on.
So to move this forward, I would say November we should pay, except for that one, which I know we talked to him about. He didn't say he'd pull it back, but I really don't think, we didn't authorize him to
We didn't ask him to
spend
look it
any
over.
time.
We didn't authorize him to do any thing for Mr. Swan either. He had no right to send anything into legal. He did not have permission to send anything.
So we also had Casella sending stuff that wasn't authorized to. And in the past,
And we-
with our, excuse me, I'm talking. In the past, when that's happened with their attorney, the attorney would just pick up the call and say, or send it to us, say, I got this, let me know if you want me to do anything with it, instead of spending an hour and a half and $300 on it.
Well, I need to know more about that before I make a statement on that.
I really hope you guys aren't planning on paying a bill that can't be reconciled. I mean, as a taxpayer, I really hope we're not paying bills that we can't reconcile and legitimize the cost.
I mean, he did, for September and October, they did take $782 off of the bill. So they're adjusted. I mean, I don't know how to. So on November 30th, receive and review email from Selectman Member Dubriel regarding a variety of town matters, review and consider possible next steps regarding right to know request issues. That was $414. And right to know is pretty straightforward.
Well, you carried me up when you got, the special meeting, the money you spent there, and the money that you're gonna be spending on the hostilities part that I still don't understand.
I don't
So
think she's
special
tearing you
meeting, I
up,
had
she's
nothing
just asking
To
for,
do with the special meeting.
No, you're just telling you're sitting there trying to tear me apart, and plus we did a motion here for,
Well, there are a lot of,
what's the planning board to get an input on a letter. And that kept going from that, should have been only a couple, $300, and that went all the way up to almost $1,200. And nothing was done about that. You're not complaining about that. And you know that was wrong of what they did.
the letter that we had them send to the Conservation Commission.
regarding HB 1221.
It was the planning board that asked if they could get permission to send, I believe that's what it was, to legal,
Yes.
to get their opinion on it. And then that conversation kept going back and forth, and he went again. And then I found out, and I'm going on hearsay, that he didn't abide by the legal's ruling on it. So, I mean,
This is HB 1221?
Yeah.
I don't believe that's the case. I mean, Terry, do you?
It's a very muddy bill, and it's something that isn't really clear. The planning board was trying to reach out because there were many requests to have a meeting with local towns, like a representative or two for each town, just to discuss what's before the state, the DES from Casella. But it isn't anything that is legally binding.
What I understand is that the legal opinion was that the planning board wasn't required to hold a public hearing because it's designated a development of regional impact.
Right.
But the fact that they can hold one is different than they're not required to hold one. I think people with the legislation thought that it would require the planning board to hold a public hearing.
Right.
So shall we pay the November bill less the $299 for that?
yep, then we could
Yeah.
talk to them, yeah.
You brought it up the last time when you Zoomed in.
Yeah, I brought it up, you brought it up, and,
That's something you can ask them yourself.
well, I mean,
Well,
I think if we delete it from the, when we pay the bill, that's a pretty strong statement. And then we still have December and January. And again, Tom, I just would like the information shared with the board. So in December, we have telephone conference with select board member Tom Dubriel, prepare for call and review materials. So that was $184 on December 5th. We have, on December 5th, another combination of town matters and documents for right to know and redactions, and receive and review documents from Selectman Dubriel. So that's where it looks like there's a
Every
duplication.
action, that's from your right to know that Mr. Swan asked for, and went through it all and got it. You lost the paper, and you had to go and do it a second time, according to the emails that came over on my email.
I'm not arguing with the right to know stuff, although.
No, but you're
But-
arguing, trying to make
No,
me
but
look
I'm
like an
trying,
ass
what
here,
I'm
and I
trying,
need to
excuse
stop.
me, Tom.
No, you gotta stop doing that. We can go over that one by one here and figure this out.
That's what I'm trying to do, because is this a duplication? We're on 2 entries for December 5th. They have review stuff for you. Was it 2 different times, 2 different things, or did they duplicate it?
Yeah, I see that.
And then on the 9th, they have telephone conference with you regarding DCC and Casella. And I don't know whether they're duplicates and we should pay them or not pay them. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I don't understand why it's one select person just looking at the invoice and no one else is given any type of input in paying it. And now all of a sudden, we're just gonna pay it.
I think we need to have a conference with him to find out exactly. Because, some of the stuff ain't making sense either.
Maybe he needs to do the conference for free this time.
Yeah.
Last time it cost us $1,000 for him to go over his billing stuff. And this is an attorney, you guys. I get garbage invoices that are more detailed than this.
And when, I mentioned this $82 that they adjusted, that was after they took off that wrong entry that didn't even belong to us. That was 300 and something. So they're not, I just don't trust their invoices, but we also need to pay our bills. And these should have posted in 2024, and they're not going to. They're going to post in 2025.
Can you ask him if he would talk with us about that? Nothing.
For just good faith, should we go ahead and
Just to get that cleared up. So
pay
that's
the,
out of the way.
pay the November one less the $299?
Well, you guys have 2 weeks to talk to him. We don't meet again for 2 weeks.
Okay.
After I talk to them, I'll email you.
Okay.
Set on that for now, right?
I think that's what we decided, yeah. There's still a motion out there to change attorneys from the second. Maybe we could look at other ones besides the Mitchell group.
Good, we'll clean this up first and see what's going on. We'll go from there.
My other concern with him is that delay in getting documents that we need in a timely fashion. We missed an opportunity for one thing, and then the latest took a month before we got a draft. So do we have a motion on the table about going into non-public?
Yes.
Yes.
Did you make it, Eric? I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
As for the contract that doesn't have a lawyer law. So how can you sue